What's up, team? It's David, your head coach at Cliffhanger Academy, and today we're going to go over another psychology fitness tip. We're going to go over wrist circles for you. So we're going to come onto the mat. This is one of the great exercises for mobility that I like to do for the wrist. Again, remember, we got about 7 bones in the wrist, little tiny bones that are really, really fragile. You got to think of all your stuff going on in the wrist. You got those 7 bones, you got fascial tissue running through there, you got ligaments, tendons, muscles, all sorts of stuff. So you gotta be really careful, especially if you're one of these, if you're into maybe yoga or climbing or surfing, anything like that, where the wrist is going to be in a position where you're using that a lot and can potentially be compromised. So one of the warm-ups I like to do, just called wrist circles. What we're gonna do these in 2 different directions. So super simple, team. You're just gonna get your knees underneath your hips. You're gonna push your hands down into the ground, nice flat palms into the ground, and then stacking your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder. Now from here, you're simply just gonna roll your wrists out in circles. I like going clockwise to start, and then I come back counterclockwise, team. So now while I'm doing this, I'm trying to stack, maybe this is probably about 50% of my weight up on my hands. You don't want to put too much weight on the hands. The other thing I'm doing is that my fingers are completely drawn on the ground. You know, making sure that my palms are flat on the ground, my fingers are on the ground. I'm not lifting anything up as I go back and forth. You notice there's no bend in the elbows either, team. I'm not flexing down. This is all just about getting the wrist nice and warmed up and going back and forth. So remember, we're always doing things bi-directionally and bilaterally, so both directions, going clockwise and then counterclockwise. And then we're also doing both sides, so bilateral. So make sure you do about 10 or 20 in each direction. Just get those wrists nice and warm up. After you come off of that, maybe give your wrist a little bit of a roll like this. Just because it's the first time you're doing this, this may be a little bit challenging for you. You may feel a little bit sore in there. Remember, team, stacking the weight, about 50% of your weight on top of your hands, wrist, elbow, and shoulders align for our wrist circles.